Imagine surviving a war, only to discover that getting home might be the most dangerous battle of your life. This is the story of Odysseus, the legendary king of Ithaca, brought to the big screen by Christopher Nolan in one of the most ambitious films of 2026. And at the center of it all is a man who has already survived war. But his journey home is only beginning. His name is Odysseus. Played by Matt Damon, Odysseus is not an unstoppable superhero. He is a strategist, a stubborn king, a warrior who survives not because he is the strongest, but because he knows how to think when everyone else is losing hope. After the Trojan War, Odysseus wants only one thing: to return to Ithaca, to his wife, to his son, to the life he left behind. But the sea has other plans. His ship is thrown into a journey filled with storms, monsters, gods, temptation, and impossible choices. And with every mile he travels, Ithaca feels farther away. Back home, someone is still waiting for him. Penelope. Played by Hathaway, Penelope is Odysseus's wife and the queen of Ithaca. But she isn't simply sitting around waiting for her husband. Years are passing. Odysseus doesn't return. And as the people of Ithaca begin to lose hope, powerful men start surrounding Penelope, each wanting to take Odysseus's place. But she refuses to give up. Because for Penelope, waiting is its own kind of war. And while she protects her home, her son is growing up without his father. Telemachus, played by Holland. He has spent his entire life hearing stories about Odysseus, but he barely knows the man behind the legend. Was his father a hero? Is he still alive? And what does it mean to be the son of a man everyone else remembers better than he does? As Telemachus searches for answers, he slowly begins to become the man his father once was. But Odysseus isn't alone on this journey. The gods are watching, and one of the most important is Athena. Played by Zendaya, Athena represents wisdom, strategy, and war. She understands something that many enemies don't. Odysseus doesn't win because he is stronger. He wins because he thinks differently. But when Odysseus finally gets closer to home, another man is waiting for him. Antinous, played by Robert Pattinson. He is one of the most aggressive men competing for Penelope's hand, and he represents everything Odysseus has lost control of: his home, his kingdom, his family, and his place in the world. But before Odysseus can even think about facing his enemies in Ithaca, he has to survive the sea. And that's where the journey becomes a nightmare. One of his greatest challenges is Polyphemus, a terrifying cyclops with a single eye and enough strength to destroy a man with almost no effort. Odysseus and his men become trapped inside the creature's cave, and suddenly, strength is useless. So Odysseus does what he does best, he thinks. Because sometimes, the smartest man in the room is the only one who survives. But Polyphemus isn't the only danger. There is Circe, a mysterious sorceress who can transform men into animals. And then there is Calypso, played by Charlize Theron. She offers Odysseus something almost impossible to refuse: safety, a life without war, without monsters, without suffering. But there is one problem. Odysseus doesn't want a new life. He wants his old one. He wants Ithaca. He wants Penelope. And he wants to see his son again. Then come the other horrors of the sea: the sirens, Scylla, Charybdis. Each one takes something from him: his men, his confidence, his innocence, and eventually, pieces of the man he used to be. That's what makes the Odyssey more than a simple adventure story. Underneath the gods and monsters, it's really a story about coming home. Odysseus spends years fighting his way across the sea. He loses people. He faces temptation. He survives impossible creatures. And through all of it, one thought keeps pulling him forward. Ithaca. But when he finally returns, home isn't exactly the place he remembers. He isn't the same man who left. Penelope isn't the same woman who watched him sail away. And Telemachus has grown up without him. The journey may be over, but the final battle is only beginning. And that's where Christopher Nolan's version of the Odyssey takes its biggest swing. This isn't simply a scene-by-scene recreation of Homer's ancient poem. Nolan has reshaped parts of the story in his own way, creating a darker, more dramatic interpretation of Odysseus's journey. And visually, the film was designed to be experienced on the biggest screen possible. The Odyssey was released in cinemas on July 17, 2026, with a runtime of around 2 hours and 52 minutes. And if you want the full experience, IMAX is the way to go, especially IMAX 70mm, where available. Team.